Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Middleware Technologies. Today we will be looking at how we can install filebeat and collect data from the Nginx service, and we will also see how we can set up elasticsearch so that this data which is collected with the filebeat is sent into elasticsearch for indexing purpose. Okay, so before going into the details of how we can achieve this task, let me give you a brief idea about the tools that we'll be using in this tutorial. So we'll be using the Elasticsearch tool, which is basically used for indexing a huge amount of data. The data can be any type of data like log data or streaming data, which can be used to index. So basically Elasticsearch is used for that purpose. And then we'll be using Kibana is basically used for visualizing the indexed data. So whatever data we are going to send it to Elasticsearch in an index, so that index we can visualize or see the details of that index in the Kibana portal, and we can also generate graphs and reports based on that Kibana, based on that index. So that is the purpose for of using Kibana tool. And the third one is the beats. Basically beats are like lightweight agents that are getting that are installed onto the servers to collect various types of uh, data from those servers. So in this case, like, we are using the filebeat agent that we are installing it on the server, which helps in collecting the data from that servers and send it across to the Elasticsearch or Logstash for further processing. Okay, so these are the main tools that we will be using in this tutorial for achieving our task. So let me get into the details of how we can achieve this task of sending the logs, collecting the logs using the filebeat and sending it across to the Elasticsearch at Kibana for further processing. Okay, so as a first step, so I'll be using this reference reference notepad which I have prepared for this activity. So as this first step, like, we need to have the Nginx service up and running, which is able to serve the static content. So if you have any Nginx servers already up and running, that should be sufficient enough for this tutorial. So if it is not if you do not have a Nginx up and running, or you do not have installed Nginx, so you can go and install the default Nginx that comes with Fedora. So let me show you. Okay, so as you can see, I have already the Nginx package installed on my machine. So once you install the Nginx package, the default locations where the Nginx get installed, like the configuration file is etc nginx. So this is the main Nginx configuration file. Okay, that gets installed onto your machine, and the location where the Nginx writes the logs is var log nginx. So this is a place where you can get the logs of your Nginx. So this is how you can get your basic Nginx installed and set up. You can start the service using sudo systemctl start Nginx service. So this will bring up your Nginx. So let me stop it and start again. you can check the status of your Nginx, whether it is up and running. Okay, so my Nginx is up and running right now. Let me get. So this is my static content that I have deployed onto Nginx. So you can have. So if you are installing it for the first time, you will have a default Nginx page that comes up when you hit on port 80. Okay, so this is the basic thing that you can set it up on your machine for this activity. So once you have the installed Nginx and configured it so that it serves the static content, we have a source of data from which we can collect the logs. So we have the source of data for filebeat from which will be used to collect that data. Okay, so the next thing that we will be going to do is install the filebeat. Okay, so filebeat, as I said, like it is used to capture the logs data from the server. It is a lightweight agent that is getting installed onto the server. So let us see how we can install the filebeat agent onto the server. Sudo install filebeat. So I have already installed my filebeat, so if in your case, like, it will be installing that package whichever it finds on the server. Okay, so in my case, like, we have filebeat version 7.14.1 that is installed. Okay, so filebeat has its configuration at the following location. So filebeat configuration is available in the YAML file. So this is the YAML file in which all the filebeat configuration will be present. So let me open this file. So I have kept a backup of the original copy. So let me open that original copy. So let me do it with sudo. The original file that you will get when you install the filebeat service, filebeat package. So we'll be editing this filebeat configurations to set our source of input and set our output wherein we will be sending our data. So these are the things, basic things that we need to configure with this filebeat configuration file. Okay, so I'm not going to go into much details on this right now. We'll be getting into that soon. So let me close this one. And so once you have installed your filebeat, you can just start up the services using following command, and it will bring up your filebeat service, and you can check the status. Okay, so now you can see the filebeat is up and running. So that should be sufficient enough for filebeat to collect the logs based on the configuration file that you have kept on the server. Okay, so in this step, like, we have seen how we can install the filebeat and how we can enable and start the filebeat service. So let us go into the next step, that is installing the Elasticsearch. So Elasticsearch, as I said, is used for indexing the data. So basically, the data that is getting collected from the filebeat, we are going to send it to the Elasticsearch for indexing purpose. So for that, we need to install the Elasticsearch component or service. So we can install it using sudo systemctl, sudo dnf, install Elasticsearch. So as you can see, the Elasticsearch 7.14.1 is already installed on my machine. In your case, if it is not installed, it is going to install this machine the version may be differing based on the operating system that you are going to use. But one thing to note, like we are using the ELK stack of the Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana components. So whatever version you're going to install, it should be the same for all the components. So we have installed the filebeat, we have installed the Kibana before installing the Elasticsearch. So all those versions were based on the same version level. So that is 7.14.1. Okay. So once you have installed the Elasticsearch, you can start up the service. Okay. So I'm just starting up my Elasticsearch service. Okay, so now my Elasticsearch service is up and running. So let me check the status. So it is up and running. So that should be sufficient enough for this activity. So let me go into my documentation. So we have installed our Elasticsearch package and we have started the service. So in case you want to enable service during startup, like whenever you want to start up the services as soon as the service is rebooted, you can run this command like systemctl enable that service specific name. If it is not required, you can ignore this step for all the other services also. So let's go into the next step, that is step 4. So here we are going to install the Kibana service. Okay, so as I said, the Kibana service is used for visualizing the data that is indexed. So that data which is indexed, we can like basically search on the data. We can visualize the graphs, and we can generate the graphs and reports based on the data that has been indexed using the Elasticsearch. Okay, so let me show you how we can install the Kibana service. Sudo dnf install Kibana. Okay, so as you can see, Kibana 7.14.1 is already installed on my machine. In your case, you can get it installed with the same command. So once the Kibana package is installed, you can start up this Kibana service. Sudo systemctl start Kibana service and check the status. Okay, so Kibana service is up and running. So Kibana is listening on port 5601. So let me show you that portal. Okay, so you can see like we have our Kibana portal up and running. So this is the portal that you will be getting once you have set up, installed Kibana and started up the service. Okay, so now the important part is how we can send the log data from Nginx to filebeat and then to Elasticsearch for indexing purpose. Okay, so coming to the step 5, configuring filebeat. This is a step that we will be using to collect the data from the Nginx and send it across to the Elasticsearch. Okay, so before doing any configuration changes, it is always better to take a backup of your filebeat configuration, the original configuration. So let me show you. So let me sudo into root and go into the location where the filebeat configuration is available. So I have already taken a backup of my filebeat configuration. So this you can take using the cp command, cp filebeat YAML filebeat YAML underscore backup with today's date. So let me take the backup for today also. So you have your backup available. So once you have taken the backup of the data, the filebeat configuration, we can go into editing, updating this filebeat configuration. So let me show you the filebeat configuration which I have already updated in the file. So as I said, like filebeat is used to capture the logs on the server where it is installed. Okay, so here is the basic configuration file that I'm using for the filebeat to collect the Nginx log data. So as you can see, I'm using the filebeat.inputs section, in which it is trying to collect the type, that is log, and I'm enabling this so that this gets enabled when the filebeat service is started up. So from where we are actually collecting the data, so that path we need to define. So that path we are defining it in the path section. The path is var log nginx access log. So this is the file that we are going to capture, and we are going to exclude files which are ending with .dz, .gz, that is gunzip files. And this parameter, the harvest buffer size, is basically what it means is whenever the filebeat is collecting data from the log, the file, it is actually creating a harvester with a buffer size to get the data of that buffer. Okay, the size of the buffer. Okay, so if you have a huge log, you need to update this parameter to the size, the chunk size which you want to collect at one stretch. Okay, so that is the purpose of this field. So once these things are set, so I'm trying to set this fields under root. So basically whatever document whatever document gets whatever log data gets captured, it is sent into the elasticsearch indexed in the document format, that is JSON document format. So in that JSON document, I am going to additionally add these fields as root fields, that is log type as access underscore text. Okay, so I'll show you where exactly you will be able to see this one once we have collected some data. Okay, so this is the filebeat section in which I have kept it for collecting the data from Nginx, and this is the general section. Basically, it applies to all the other types of source of data that we are going to collect using the filebeat and send it across. Okay, so here I am putting two additional fields, that is environment and BU. Okay, so environment is testing and BU is tag. So I'll show you where exactly these fields get captured in the indexed JSON data. Okay, and the third section, which is like where we are going to send this data that we have collected using the filebeat. So here, as you can see, we are outputting that data into Elasticsearch for indexing purpose. So Elasticsearch listens on port 9200. So this is the host. So as I am running it on my local machine, I have kept the host as localhost 9200. And also I do not have any HTTPS setup ready right now, security enabled. So all these settings are commented out. So if you have security enabled, like you need to authenticate to Elasticsearch, then you need to pass in the credentials or the API key for authenticating to the Elasticsearch service. And if you have HTTPS enabled, you need to enable the protocol setting in this section. Okay, so this is the basic configuration file that I am using to collect the log data from the Nginx. Okay, so all this so let me just share. So all this documentation that I have kept is being kept in a blog also. So that blog I'll be sharing it in the description section of the YouTube video which I'll be sharing. Okay, so there also you can get this whole configuration file. Okay, so let us go into our documentation again. So we have our filebeat configuration ready with the type of log that we are going to capture and what type of fields we want to additionally add into that data and send it across to the Elasticsearch. Okay, so the next step is basically to restart the filebeat service. So as we have already started the filebeat service before modifying the filebeat configuration, so we if you have updated the configuration, you can restart the service using the systemctl command and make sure there are no errors while restarting the service. So now we have our filebeat and elasticsearch service. So coming to the next step, so here also you need to make sure you have restarted your elasticsearch service, or if it is not up and running, you start up the service. Okay, so once we have the filebeat and elasticsearch service up and running, we can validate the data in Kibana Portal. Okay, so we have already installed our Kibana service and we have already started up in the Kibana service. So let me go into this portal. So once you are onto the Kibana portal, you need to navigate onto the left menu and go into stack management, index patterns. So you will see this pattern will be available. Okay, so you can select this pattern, and if you want to add any fields, you can add it, or you can just create this index pattern. Okay, so once you have this index ready, you can go into discover section where this index will show you. So this is the filebeat index that we have added or created. So once that filebeat index is shown, like you can see that it has collected the logs. Okay, so let me go and try to hit the Nginx service so that it will create some logs. Okay, and let us now go and refresh the service. Okay, let me update the timestamp to last 1 hour. Okay, as you can see, like we have collected some data here, like we have indexed some data from our Nginx service. Okay, so let me pull up that log detail, and as I said, like we have added some fields over here. So I'll show you the one field that we have added is log underscore type. So that is one thing. So you can see the general section fields like that have got added, that is BU is stack and environment is testing, and log type, this one gets added to the log that has been collected. Okay, so this is specific to the Nginx log that gets added when the data is getting indexed. So let me go and hit it some more time, and you can refresh it. So this is some data that we have collected. Like I tried to hit it. So this is how like we can get the data that is collected with filebeat, index it into the Elasticsearch, and then visualize it using the Kibana services. Okay, so that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope you learned something new in this video. Thank you all. Thanks for watching this video, and you have a great day.